Hi everyone. So I'm Peter. I've been in the implementer role for the past 9 years.
Rita, we barely hear you.
So, Prisa, yeah, it's not very loud,
Can you hear me now?
not much better.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, that's a little bit better.
Good morning, everyone. I am Peter. I've been in this organization for the last 10 years, and I've been the last 9 years mentor role. And I recently joined the enablement team for the last 7 months now. And of work, I like to do photography. I like to travel, and I do spend time with my daughter on weekends and as and when I get time. That's from my traveling and my family on life. It's all about me.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Prisa. Alon?
Yes, so my name is Alon Lifshitz. Most of you know me already. I'm more than 20 years in the company, more than 10 years in demo and enablement. Now it's more enablement. Love to do a lot of things. Religious Jewish Orthodox, and I love to learn things Bible thing, related to Bible. Uh, do some rappelling. I'm doing a lot of sport activities. I love fishing, and I have so many hobbies. And I have three kids, and love to be with them. And happy to be with you this week.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Alon. So, my name is Alexei, and well, I like to do stuff, and I like the OpsBridge suite, building enablements and demos and environments. That's actually one of my hobbies, and some of you might know about it if you ever went to YouTube to find something about OpsBridge. Probably you've come across one of my little passion projects. And that's more or less about me. So let's just jump into what is it all about, what we're going to do here. We have a lot of things and ground to cover, and we have most of the people over here. So let's go a little bit about the administrative stuff before we go to get geeky. So we start at the same time every day, like today. Okay, and the session is kept open for about 8 hours. It doesn't mean that you have to be on audio at all times, but every morning we do start with an audio briefing and some presentations. And in case there is going to be another presentation at a later hour, we would tell you about it in advance. So just notice that today on hour 7, there is going to be a presentation from one of the SWAT team guys, which would talk about the cloud deployment a little bit in depth, right? And this morning we start with a couple of presentations, and then we'll go into the exercise building. Okay. Now, we do keep the meeting at all times. So we, the instructors, are on audio listening to you also at all times, although you don't have to be, but we want to, because you can pop in and out if you need help. You'll see if this is your first time, the labs are complex. There's a lot of things to do, and of course you would need our attention, and we would like you to keep several channels for it open. Okay, and of course, every time that you need our attention, it starts with a chat message, and then, of course, the voice and everything else. And also, please be aware, we try to be here at all times, but things happen. I might be an RDP poking my eyes out, trying to figure out something, and I might not just see the message. So if you see that we don't respond, it's not out of disrespect. Just ping us again. We are trying to get to everybody in time. All right, so that's just the administrator, right? We meet every morning. There are presentations. If in case you need to jump in on the voice, we'll tell you in the chat. And if you need help, just reach out to us from chat. Now, about the course itself, we would take about 4.5 days to complete. If you're fast, you can complete it, I would say 1 day, 1.5 days, if you're really fast. But in case this is your first time, we accommodate for that. We want everybody to finish. So it means that please take your time, progress with the schedule, and it's going to be exactly right. Okay, we'll show you a little bit later how to access and use the documentation and how to use your own environment, and also, well, how to troubleshoot. Okay, we already did tell about how to ask for support. I'm just going to add, instead of us seeing your screen, in most cases, we would be overriding your session from our own terminal and sharing our screen. That this is done for speed and just, screens come in all shapes and sizes, and ours are tuned to share and to be educational when we try to fix stuff, right? And in case you see us troubleshooting something for somebody else, it might be useful for you as well. Okay, and also we'll talk about how to get certified at the very end of it, and discuss the environments and of lives, right? So in general, the lab week is separated into 3 logical sessions. Not physical, but logical. Why logical? Because we need to separate several topics one from each other, and because we're going to be using the same infrastructure for all of them, it is going to be a little bit confusing. So we would like to split it into logical sessions. Section number one is going to be about external Kubernetes. Okay, it's going to be all about AWS based. We're going to be doing the toolkit work and everything else. And then we would switch to the SaaS POC scenario. And we would be actually using the environment that you're going to build. We would start referring to it as on-prem environment. Okay, so whatever you're going to build, we start with external Kubernetes, detached from any external scenarios. But once we switch to SaaS POC, the environment that you are creating is going to be referred on-prem, and the SaaS POC would include an additional environment that we, the instructors, built for this POC. Okay, and of course, we would be going into 2 directions here. One of them would be APM in SaaS, and another one would be OBM and reporting in SaaS. And then the last section, it's not going to be attached to any specific use case. It's going to be attached to functionality that was introduced in 2205. So it's going to be hyperscale, it's going to be OBA, new UI, new DVD dashboard, things like that. So not a direct use case, but more like usability, what to show, what is it there, and how to configure it in the first place. That's more or less the structure. Okay, now in terms of how it goes on day one, well, we are going to be working on building the POC in the cloud, and we will be learning how to build everything in AWS. It was requested a long time ago, and finally we got the budget to do so. Okay, and you just build your own environment, and we'll try to teach you the best of what we can about AWS. So it would be an experience in learning the OpsBridge suite, but also the skills that are required as an underlying skill set. On day 2, we are going to be doing several things. One of them, this is the buffer day for completing the exercises from today. So in case you are not finished today with the full environment, today is going to be a little bit leaned back day where you can actually complete some of the steps. And also we're going to be learning about APM and SaaS. We will be monitoring a complex scenario with BPM in private environments, and a little bit of site scope monitoring, right? The agentless UI and provisioning from templates, all of this is going to happen tomorrow. And we are going to have guest speakers that would be introducing us to APM and SaaS, just a little bit of a refresher if you're familiar with it. If not, you'll get to know some new ideas about how APM can look like. Okay, day 3 is SaaS day. We will be learning how to onboard your on-prem environment into the SaaS POC, and it will include several sections in it. The theoretical one, of course, but then all of the hands-on experiences, and we will be trying to simulate SaaS as much as possible. Basically, you're not going to touch the SaaS environment. We are going to be impersonating support of SaaS for you, right? So it's going to be semi-transparent process, exactly like you would do in your SaaS POC. Okay, day 4 we start with the 22.5 features. It's about cloud monitoring, Optic, OBA, and day 5 basically it's going to be a continuation of day 4 in case you need the buffer time to complete the exercises. Okay, so some things to know about how it's all going to happen. By the way, do we have questions by now? Because I'm going to switch topics.
Yes, hello, Alex. Hi, this is Mahmoud.
Hi, Mahmoud.
Hello. Yes, I'm mainly asking for the timing for the sessions that will be instructed by you or the guest speakers.
Sure. So the timing is usually either early morning, where we start the sessions. Unfortunately, 2 of our sessions, I think, no, this week, all sessions are start on hour 7 of the lab week. So 1 hour before, I'm going to tell you guys, well, 1 hour from now, please connect to the voice. So we're going to have a session. But you know, there is like 8 hours every day. So on hour 7, it's like, what time is it now? 6 hours from now, we're going to have Antonio. I'm really sorry about this, but we are counting the lab week itself as an encapsulated thing, and everybody have their own time on their calendars. So we're going to do it in 2 ways. One of them is announcing in advance and also announcing right now. Please calculate what will happen 6 hours from now. This is where we meet again. Okay, I hope it helps. I really like your new look, by the way.
Thank you.
All right. So,
Alexei,
yes.
just quick question, please.
Sure.
You're saying that we're gonna go from on-prem to migrated to SaaS. We're talking here about the Operation Bridge environment, so we're gonna install it
Yes.
first on-prem, then simulate the migration to SaaS, and that's
Yes.
what we're doing.
Yes. So the build, the logic goes like this: you build on your own environment in AWS,
Mhm.
and on day 3 we say, okay, whatever you built, we call it an on-prem environment. This is a customer environment, and this customer would like to join the OpsBridge in SaaS for a
Okay.
POC.
Okay.
And then we're going to teach you how to build this POC when you have the customer's environment and when you have the SaaS environment. Now, there's a little bit of theory going on. It is not a readily understandable things because it mixes like everything that we know about OpsBridge into a new salad of words per se, and we'll try to untangle it as much as we can. I mean, we have a specific lab we can structure to accommodate for that step by step, but also a specific theoretical piece that we're going to introduce to you on day 3 in the morning.
So this simulate the use case of customer is on WS and wants to go to SaaS, but how about if he's on-prem, not on AWS?
There is no difference. There is no difference. We're going to position in a way that doesn't show any difference in terms of where the customer is. It can be on-prem entirely. It can be in their own private cloud that is not AWS. The main point is that SaaS lives its own life, and whatever customer has anywhere, what the only thing that matters is that they have their own OBM and topology and data collection.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Any way they implement it, it's fine for SaaS POC.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. So, unlike our usual bootcamps where we give you a fully prepared environment with a full set of machines and a way to connect to them, your beginning point in this lab week is a username and a password to AWS. That is it. Okay, now Of course, you're going to be using it to build your own environment and everything, but we want to have several considerations, right? So for example, when we go to our documentation, when we tell you to use a specific password, please do not change it. There is a good reason for us using the same password when we try to support, when we try to troubleshoot whatever is happening. You know, there's like a lot of moving parts. We would like to be able to just go directly to the application and operate it without asking you for what is the difference between your environment and the one that we documented in the exercises, right? So if you have a custom password, then I need to understand what's going on with every particular environment, with every particular setting, which is very hard. There's like 22 of you, and only one of us per exercise, more or less, when we try to troubleshoot something complex. Okay, there are going to be passwords which you can customize, of course, but most of them, the ones that are documented in the exercises, please do not alter. It just makes the investigations faster. Okay. Now we did pre-made some of the configurations, and it too is educational material, but mainly it is designed to save time and money, right? And one of the biggest considerations for the whole lab week, actually, maybe I should have a laser pointer over here. No, that's okay. So security. When you operate an AWS environment, security is always something to be considering about. We're going to be discussing it at length in the AWS theory itself. But the point is, in case we make a mistake and we expose our AWS account a little bit too much, there is a security team in Micro Focus that will reach out to me and threaten to close the whole operation in case I violate too many of those rules. Yes, the whole environment is under my name at the moment. So, and they did contact me several times. It's out of the experience. Okay, it's not theoretical. This is practical. They do do it. So we will always be trying to limit the access to our resources to very specific targets just out of this consideration. Okay, even though there is like nothing to steal, right? Still, they would like, they do respond very severely to overexposed resources in AWS. Okay, and you will be operating everything from your laptops. Okay, it means that you would have to probably install a program or two on your own laptop. Now, I know that for some partners, that is not an option. The IT kind of restricts you from doing that sometimes. I know that for Micro Focus, this is not a big problem. In those cases, let's talk about it. Probably we would just create a Windows jump host for you, where you can operate everything as if you have a normal laptop without restrictions. This is rare. It happens, but know that you are not limited by your laptop alone. Okay. Now, the lab week documentation, I'm also sending you a direct link once I'll be done with the presentations, but the lab week documentation is available at this specific location. And let me just take a screenshot. So just for everybody's reference later. Klaus, a 1500 CET. I need to figure that one out. I'll post a CET time later, Klaus, if that's okay. I just noticed your question in chat, right? So basically, this is where we keep all of our stuff. The direct link would be sent to you by email, but you are welcome to browse around. Now, there is only one restriction for this portal. In case you are using it the first time, please do not share this information with customers. There is a conflict of interest between us and customer education team. So we're not allowed to show this documentation to customers for now. Maybe later at some point it would be allowed. We are pushing towards this goal, but it is for you to be building your own skill set and not for customers. Unfortunately, you'll see that it might be useful for them as well, but that's the restriction. Unfortunately, legal is legal. Now, to track your progress, you want to be completing this lab week with a certificate in hand. Our certification process is very simple. There are 6 checkpoints, and you learn to recognize them you learn to recognize them once you do the exercise itself. You understand what this means and which part it refers to. But all I need from you is by the end of the week, you need to send me 4 out of these 6 screenshots to get a certificate from our Saba team about 2 weeks after the course completion. Right, that's all we need. Just send them to me. It's preferable that the screenshots would be full screen screenshots, so I would be able to identify that the environment is yours. Each environment has a unique identifier. That's your student name that appears in every URL. So I need to see this when you show me your data, and that way, when you send it to me by email, I get to keep it forever in case we need to go back for it for proof for Saba team to give certificates. And also, this is a very easy way to do it. No exams, no anything like that. Okay. So if you're really fast and you complete everything in one day, we're completely fine with it. Just send me the screenshots that show your unique identifier, and you're good to go. Now, a very important thing about your environments, since you will be the one to build them, they are very, very, very hard to destroy. Very hard. So at the end of the lab week, you are going to destroy your work. You cannot keep it. It costs a lot of money. Those environments are basically draining our budget. So we even one day without them until we wait for the other student batch for next week, it's going to save us like $1,000. And I have like only $30,000 for the whole course for all regions. So we do try to save the costs as much as possible. This is in many situations, there's a question like, can we keep the environments for later? And the answer is no. However, because of the skills that you're about to learn, you can build one of your own really fast if you have access to AWS account after the lab week, right? And then you'll be using your own budgets to do so. So definitely it helps. Okay, so before we go and switch to AWS basics, let me stop the recording of this section.
Alexei, one last question about the